plenty of thunder from these storms as well. So take cover if you're under this warning area. Teo.
All right, Tamara Berg, thank you so much. Good advice. Appreciate it. We have more breaking news as well when it comes to traffic. Let's go right now to Brian Hickey with what we know.
Yeah, and with that intense energy that came through and the rain that came down, the roads were flooded for a short time, and we do have a number of spin-outs and crashes, the biggest of which is just down the road from this camera here. This is the Del Paso road camera along Interstate 5. As we head out toward the Yolo bypass, you can see a long line of red here. To give you some reference, this is the Sacramento International Airport. This is the Sacramento River, and just beyond that, all southbound lanes of I-5 are blocked right now due to a big rig that is partially hanging off of the bypass. Reports right now that the trailer is partially over the wall, and so they do have crews heading out there right now with tow trucks and emergency equipment to try to get the driver out of there. The driver reportedly said he felt like he was going to blow off the bridge. The wind was so intense in the area at that time. So that is where this is all happening, just south of Woodland. So if you're leaving the Woodland area, I-5 right now completely blocked in that southbound direction. So you want to take that alternate route to get around all of that as crews are dealing with a big rig that is currently hanging off of the bypass. Otherwise, across Sacramento, we have a number of reports of roadway flooding and spin-outs. The drains just couldn't keep up with the intensity of the rain. When I was coming in around 3 o'clock this morning, the wipers couldn't keep up with that intense band of rain that came over the area, producing all of this energy. Stockton, no crashes reported right now. Travel times here in the Sacramento area in the green, but I'll tell you, give yourself a lot of extra time to go where you're going, and do not try to do the speed limit right now. Those roads are flooded in a lot of places, Teo.
All right, thank you so much, Brian. Again, we'll keep on top of that as well. Let's go back now to meteorologist Tamara Berg for more on this tornado warning. We have more specifics.
Yeah, we do. This is moving pretty quickly, this line of severe thunderstorms, but it is capable of producing tornadoes and extensive straight line wind damage. It's moving to the northeast at about 50 to 55 miles an hour, and these are the next areas of concern. So in about 11 minutes, potential for those thunderstorms and maybe even potential for an isolated tornado in the town of Waterford, moving to the next 14 minutes over the area of Hickman, and about 35 minutes from now over Copperopolis. Again, this is going to be covering a great deal of area as it is affecting 3 counties across our area. So especially in spots like Escalon, you know, expected that there's thunderstorms over you right now, Oakdale, and then East Oakdale, and then Telegraph City and Milton right around roughly about 410. We'll continue tracking this line of storms capable of producing, again, not only these severe thunderstorms that we're getting and all this lightning and even small hail being produced, but the potential for straight-lined wind damage because these winds so far have been proving to gust over 50 to about 55 miles an hour. And again, you can see here, just as I give you an idea of how much lightning has struck, 21 strikes just in this area from Riverbank through Modesto down in towards Hickman and Turlock. And I also don't want to forget the rest of our viewing area because not only are we seeing this tornado warning, which actually just decreased in size, you can see the polygon now just extending into portions of Stanislaus County and Calaveras County. It looks like right now, San Joaquin County, for most of you, you're out of the woods in terms of any potential for any tornadoes to develop. But as I widen this view out again, you can see where Brian was just talking about across the causeway and the issues there with those straight line winds. We still have thunderstorms that'll continue to file into portions of El Dorado County, Placer County, and again, moving very fast. 55 miles an hour to the north and northeast is where these storms are filing through. So get ready. Roseville, if you're not hearing lightning or seeing lightning or hearing thunder right now, you're likely to get in on it. And this heavy downpour action as well will continue to travel down that 50 corridor, down Interstate 80, as well as covering areas like Auburn. And even around Yuba City, you're probably likely hearing some thunder at this point. Again, the tornado warning has been dropped in size. So areas like San Joaquin County, not as much in the thick of it as you are, let's say, in Stanislaus County. And again, you're getting ready to likely be under some of these heavier bands of thunderstorms. Riverbank, East Oakdale right now, it's coming towards you, as well as areas of Copperopolis. You can see that that thunderstorm activity is working its way down Highway 4 with potential, again, for isolated tornadoes, possibly even spotting a funnel cloud wouldn't be ruled out. We also have a severe thunderstorm warning that is generated and popping up in portions of Sacramento County.
However, this is going to expire at 4:15, Tamara.
Yeah, so it's moving fast.
It's moving fast. So it's now over the Roseville, Rockland area, about to push in.
Roseville and Rockland area. Okay. Thank you, Eileen. Eileen in here helping us get through this because there is a lot of activity taking place. I don't know why this thunderstorm warning is not popping up on here.
You can take TV2.
But again, we could take TV2 if we can, Director Doug, and show off exactly where this severe thunderstorm warning is. And yes, these line of storms are moving very, very quickly. You can see just how fast they're going, but they are doing quite a bit as they roll on through, producing, again, these gusty winds, this heavy rainfall. Some folks I know that in our station have driven through it, getting into the office this morning, and they're also producing the lightning and potential for small hail. Been seeing some signatures of hail as well on the radar scan.
And Tamara, we have information real quick on advice if you are in this area impacted by the tornado warning. If we could bring that information up, guys, that would be great. Take shelter in most interior room or closet, one that doesn't have a window. Again, stay away from windows. Watch for flying debris. Something else you had mentioned too, Tamara. If none of these apply to you specifically, go to the lowest point in your home is always a good advice. Not a lot of people have basements in this area, obviously.
Absolutely.
But if you do, that's a good place to go.
We can go back to radar as well, because now I've got the severe thunderstorm warning popped up. And again, it stretches out here from Sacramento up Interstate 80 into Roseville. And as I show you right now, again, the extension of this, don't the hillside.
And this is severe thunderstorm. This is not the tornado warning.
Severe thunderstorm warning, correct. And again, it's going to be covering portions of southeastern Yolo County, southeastern Sutter County, north central Sacramento County. Severe thunderstorm was located near Freeport, and it's moving about 9 miles southeast of Davis this morning. Again, trucking along at a 55-mile-per-hour pace. The biggest hazard as well has been the report of 70-mile-per-hour winds. So you can expect that there may be some more tree damage. Damage is likely to rooftops, outbuildings, and it's producing torrential rain, as we've been seeing, a potential for more flooding on the roadways. Small hail also is going to accompany this storm, so be prepared, especially in locations of East Sacramento, Lincoln, Loomis, the Foothill Farms area, Rio Linda, Nicholas, Pleasant Grove, North Highlands, Alberta, and Antelope could be all impacted.
And again, what areas are impacted by the tornado warning? Just if you're just joining us now, there's a tornado warning for portions of San Joaquin County, correct?
Correct, yeah. Portions of actually Stanislaus County.
Pardon me, Stanislaus,
At one point it did impact San Joaquin County, but now we're watching this line, again, work its way pretty quickly to the east, and it is impacting portions of western Calaveras County, specifically around Copperopolis, Vallecito. It's kind of racing down that Highway 4 corridor, producing with it, again, some small hail. It is producing some straight line winds, which could potentially be damaging, and this torrential rain. You know, when you get to radar and you see those red rounds of rain there, that is really torrential rainfall over areas, impacting communities of Oakdale, Waterford, Eastern Modesto, and even parts of Modesto still under this tornado warning, at least for the next 7 minutes roughly. Again, it goes out until 4:15 this morning, as these storms will continue filing off to the north and northeast at about a 50-mile-per-hour pace, roughly, Teo.
Wow, it is very, very fast moving. Okay, so we have this is all one kind of system to the south in Stanislaus County, leading to a tornado warning right now, affecting communities from Modesto, Riverbank, Copperopolis, places like that, up to Sonora. Again, you're advised to go into an interior room that does not have windows. That's always your safest bet here. Then to the north, over Sacramento, Placer counties as well, Yolo County too, is the severe thunderstorm warning. Torrential rain, lightning likely has already woken you up if you're in that area, because boy, it was certainly active when I was heading into work today. Go ahead, Eileen.
Yeah, Teo, I'm standing by here in the Weather Center with Tamara. I just want to give you an update on those thunderstorms that we're talking about in the Sacramento region. These thunderstorms have cleared Sacramento. They probably woke you up. They have cleared North Highlands and Rancho Cordova. There's a severe thunderstorm warning in place where you see those orange shaded area. Likely will expire at 4:15. It is now moving over Loomis and Granite Bay, racing its way towards the Auburn area. It is now cleared Lincoln, so the worst of it is done there. But if you live in the Auburn area or into Shingle Springs and Placerville, this is coming your way. You're getting these downpours and gusty winds through Cameron Park. Right now, again, that is not under a severe thunderstorm warning. And again, the severe thunderstorm warning was issued just before 4 o'clock at around 3:30, 3:45. So these storms are racing so quickly that thunderstorm warning will likely expire in the next 15 minutes or so. And again, these line of thunderstorms are now racing into the foothills. Amador County, again, it's on your doorstep in Plymouth and Amador City. Jackson, get ready for some hail. That signature there with the purple indicates hail likely falling, lots of lightning, lots of thunder, lots of heavy rain moving towards Jackson, San Andreas. It's over Valley Springs right now in Rancho Calaveras. And again, this is all pushing off towards the east at a very fast clip at about 50 miles per hour. And that extends all the way down just to the east of the Farmington area, heading towards Copperopolis and East Oakdale and Waterford. Again, this is all going to be heading towards you in Sonora and Jamestown, Angels Camp, Copperopolis, San Andreas, McColney Hill, the Jackson area, Amador City, Plymouth, the Highway 49 corridor. Get ready for this wind, get ready for lots of thunder and potentially some small hail. Again, we still have that thunderstorm warning in effect for the Sacramento region, but likely, again, it is going to be expiring because you can see clearly that these storms have now pushed off to the east.
Yes, and tracker on this, as Eileen was already mentioning, about 16 minutes from now, it's going to be trucking over the San Andreas area. Next 20 minutes roughly, Angels Camp, Sonora getting ready, Jamestown, as Eileen was just saying.
Tamara, did you see that they issued a severe thunderstorm warning now for the foothills there?
I did not just see that. Let's see. Let's pop that up here.
Yeah.
Again, we're going as we can because this is moving so quickly.
Yeah, not unexpected there that we do have that severe thunderstorm warning in effect for portions of the foothills right now.
Yes, so if you are, again, experiencing this thunderstorm activity, it's always good to take shelter, stay away from those windows in your home, and make sure that you are just prepared by being in the kind of the lowest interior part of your home. Even through these severe thunderstorms, you know it's lashing out, dropping a lot of rainfall. You're seeing the flicker and flash of the lightning show outside, and you're probably maybe hearing some small hail hit your rooftop along with this heavy, drenching, soaking rain. So again, back to that severe thunderstorm warning, you can see right here, this is going to go again until 4:15 roughly. So it's got about 4 minutes left until it expires. Again, covering a great deal of area and a great deal of the foothills as well. And the foothills one actually goes until 4:45.
Correct.
That severe thunderstorm warning for some reason is not popping up on my end. Eileen's got more on that.
Yeah, let me get some of the information here about the severe thunderstorm warning now in effect for portions of the foothills extending from El Dorado County into Amador County. I don't have the latest on that from the National Weather Service. Let me see if I can pop that up here.
Tamara, let me ask you a question while Eileen's doing that. Is there a concern about, we already have swollen rivers and creeks and stuff. These are like microbursts, this severe thunderstorm. Does that increase, obviously, the risk for flooding in some areas, possibly?
At least we had that time, that window to dry out yesterday. I know in my drive to work, everything was dry for the most part, so I don't expect we're going to have any major issues.
Okay.
But yeah, if we get a heavy downpour and this torrential rain like we're seeing right now, there is potential that some of those creeks could be swelled. I think the rivers are all in just fine shape. But yeah, if you live along a creek bed or some sort of watershed area, there's potential that you could have a potential for some minor flooding, irritation, nuisance flooding for this morning.
If you take TV2 now, I can show you where the severe thunderstorm warning is currently. It extends from the Auburn area, Lake of the Pines, Meadow Vista, through Auburn, through Placerville, through Plymouth, and down to the San Andreas area, and then it meets up with that tornado warning that extends from Stanislaus County up towards the Copperopolis area and into Highway 4. Now I'm going to zoom this out because I'm going to show you the motion. These thunderstorms are just on your doorstep. That is not the most current view. Let me show you what is happening right now. So you can see that line of thunderstorms now moving its way from the valley up into the foothills, and you can see over the past hour its movement, a very fast movement of about 50 miles per hour, pushing up into the foothills right now. So if you are along the Highway 49 corridor, stay inside, go to your lowest interior room, just kind of stay in place, stay away from the windows because these have contained some gustier winds. The National Weather Service saying that some of the winds in here, the straight line winds, could reach to 70. We've seen reports at about 54 miles per hour out of the Sac International Airport when this line passed through. So we know there could be some brief damaging winds, also some small hail as this line passes through. And again, if you're in the Auburn area and in Placerville and then farther to the south, just past Ione along 49 towards Jackson, San Andreas, and Sonora. You need to stay inside. Don't get curious and get outside. There's a lot of lightning and hail coming your way, and the potential for damaging winds as well. Briefly, this is not the kind of situation where it will last long in those other wind events that we've had recently. And the rain, while it will be very heavy, it will be brief. So yes, standing water in the hour after this line passes through is a possibility. But again, this is not the kind of rain that we would see those major rivers and creeks take a big hit.
Absolutely. And if you want to go to TV1 now, Director Doug, I've got it actually outlined where we have the severe thunderstorm warning, and we've roughly got about 40 seconds left until this may expire. They may extend it. They may widen the polygon as well. Those are the things the Weather Service may do should they see that something that they need to do. Again, one of the main reasons why we had the tornado warning go up is because radar indicated some rotation, and that is why they saw a cause for concern there for those areas of portions of Stanislaus County, and they also saw straight line wind damage potentially. So the impact also potential for flying debris that could be dangerous for those without any shelter. Mobile homes, of course, an issue. And then also for folks that could see some damage to roofs, windows, and vehicles occur. And more tree damage is potentially something that can happen. Okay, we've got the warning. The tornado warning has now expired. Now we're just under the severe thunderstorm warning for all of these areas that you see shaded in the yellow, and that includes much of the foothills that Eileen has been talking about.
Yeah, stay with TV1, Doug. I'm just going to talk about some of the wind gusts we did see briefly with this line, and this is one of the reasons why we had an overturned big rig along the Yolo bypass. When this line of thunderstorms went through, it produced a gust to nearly 55 miles an hour at the Sac International Airport. We did get some gusts in and around Folsom, above 40 miles an hour, so 44 miles an hour. We did get a gust in Lincoln to 55 miles per hour as this storm passed through. And again, this is heading and pretty much right over the Highway 49 corridor right now, so get ready for some brief damaging winds. We also had a gust in Ione to about 52 miles an hour. I checked on some of the winds that came through Modesto. They stayed under 40, it looked like, but just to the east of Modesto, there could be some wind damage because the storm intensified as it went east and pushed east of Modesto, and also prompting that tornado warning. So right now through the foothills, we are continuing to get some very gusty winds, and we're also continuing to see that small hail fall out of this line of thunderstorms now pushing into the Highway 49 corridor.
All right, while you guys gather a little bit more information, let's go real quick over to Brian Hickey. He's on traffic, and we kind of have some fallout from these really strong winds that we saw in Sacramento County and Yolo County. You
know, you can kind of follow the weather along with the traffic reports and the accident reports. This is a live look from downtown Placerville, and I've been watching the American flag and the California flag off in the distance here. You can see they're kind of hanging down now, but just moments ago they were pinned sideways as this band passes over. As we drove through it this morning, it was some of the most intense driving I've done, and then all of a sudden it was calm. So that just gives you an idea of the nature of this band of energy passing through. As this is a live look at Placerville, you can still see the intensity of the rain coming down there, and then every now and then the flag is just pinning out sideways with that intense wind through the area. And with that, we're getting reports of roadway flooding in and around the Highway 49 corridor and Placerville right now. The other area that already had this pass through, out through the Natomas area, I-5, Del Paso Road, very calm now, traffic moving along just fine unless you head out toward the Yolo bypass, and that is where on the southbound side, all lanes are completely blocked right now due to a big rig that is hanging off of the bypass. The trailer is over the wall and hanging from that elevated portion of freeway. So California Highway Patrol has issued a SIG alert for that area. They do not know when they're going to be able to reopen those lanes. They're positioning equipment right now to try to get that truck secure, get the driver out of it, and get it back up onto the freeway. We do have a crew there, and we'll try to keep you updated on the progress that they're making. But for now, if you're coming from from Woodland or anywhere north heading southbound I-5, you're going to want to hop onto 113 and take that down into Davis, where then you can get back onto Interstate 80, take that into downtown or off to the Bay Area, wherever your travels take you this morning. But 113 will be your workaround right now as I-5 remains closed. Otherwise, across the rest of the area, some of the roads are starting to clear out a little bit, starting to drain after some pretty intense showers, Tale.
Yeah, to say the least. I drove in it too. Wow. We're both talking about it. Yeah. All right, so let's head back over to meteorologist Tamara Berg and Eileen Javora for more information.
Yeah, we're continuing to track this severe thunderstorm warning across the foothills. And again, these storms are moving very quickly. So for spots like Nevada City, you're probably about 10 to 15 minutes away from the heavy torrential rain, lightning, and some thunder. 6 minutes to Grass Valley, about 18 minutes to Colfax, and then about 40 minutes to the Hughes Mills area. And I'd even say that that is probably overestimation there. I expect that these storms are moving pretty rapidly to the north to northeast. And if I put another track down the Highway 50 corridor to show you exactly where these are moving right now, kind of trucking along Cameron Park, moving across portions of Placerville, and eventually, get ready, Pollock Pines. This is all moving your direction as these storms continue working again in that easterly direction. It's over Placerville right now. Eventually, Pollock Pines, maybe about 15, I'd say 20 minutes or so, it'll be over your area. Fresh Pond as well is starting to see the chance for some even thunderstorms in the next 30 to 35 minutes. And then you can also follow the track through as I take it down towards Highway 88. Likely you're going to be seeing more of this activity as we see over the next couple of minutes. Amador County getting hit pretty hard right now. Some straight line winds. I could see there's a little bit of shear that has been picked up on the radar scan along with all of this lightning. McCullum Hill really in the crosshairs of it right now, and San Andreas hearing that heavy rainfall, likely seeing those flickers of lightning, and eventually we'll get into this activity for areas like West Point. This is going to be moving in your direction here within the next few minutes, and again, it is moving off to the east at a very, very rapid pace. And you'll notice here's that tracker once again. Alabama Hill, about 11 minutes. Railroad Flat, about 22 minutes. In the town of Porter, in about the next 30 minutes. And again, these straight line storms are producing straight line winds with potential for wind damage. Some lightning and even some small hail can't be ruled out with the passing of these storms as they continue working off towards the northeast.
Tamara, I just had a text from a friend of mine who lives in El Dorado Hills who said, I've only heard this kind of wind, rain, thunder, lightning once in my lifetime. This is one of the fastest moving cells I've ever heard. I can still hear it moving up the hill.
Wow.
That just kind of tells you what El Dorado Hills just went through.
Yeah, and I know this is it's waking a lot of people up because it's just 4:20 in the morning. So a lot of folks being jarred out of bed due to this. And eventually, again, it is moving at a pretty rapid pace, but producing a lot of lightning, this torrential type of rainfall. And then that's a look there at Highway 50 at the L Streets area. And look at that. It looks like a Canal Street area in Placerville. Lots and lots of standing water out there from these heavier downpours. And again, it kind of races through and moves out pretty quickly as it makes its exit, but it definitely makes its appearance known. And there's the lightning there you just saw kick off there at Canal Street, again, off Highway 50. That is what we're witnessing right now with this line of thunderstorms, which will continue tracking to the east. So really, once you get inundated by it, it moves out really quickly, but You're going to wake up and you're going to find a lot of standing water where you live, or if you're trying to travel on the roadways bright and early, there could be some issues, especially trying to get through where all that heavy rain just fell, and maybe potential for some wind damage. There could be some debris littered in the roadways as well from these straight line winds of 40, 50, even 60 miles an hour.
And to put it into perspective too, it's a good thing almost that we've had so much rain for so many weeks on end here. If we were super dry like we were in a good portion of December, when a system like this moves in with so much lightning, that can cause concern of like a wintertime wildfires, right? But
Yeah,
since everything's so saturated.
If this was happening back in August, September, even into October, there would be definitely a cause for concern. The ground is very saturated, so that is the good news with all of this rain we've had recently. But of course, you also have to watch the creeks and the streams when you get these torrential heavy downpours, because they will swell up. I don't think they'd stay swelled all day long, but there is potential we could see more thunderstorms even into the afternoon. So don't let your guard down on a day like today. There's a lot of instability in the atmosphere, and we're already seeing proof of that for the morning. And potentially we could see more of these thunderstorms rock and roll through our areas into the afternoon. Severe thunderstorm warning again. This will go until 4:45 this morning, and it covers much of the foothills locations as these storms are moving off to the east at a fairly rapid pace. Eileen, anything you wanted to add?
No, I just wanted to add that, if you're waking up in the San Joaquin Valley and maybe some sort of alert went off on your phone, we did have tornado warnings up for parts of Stanislaus and San Joaquin counties. This line of thunderstorms now is pushing up towards the Highway 49 corridor to the east of you. So it has already cleared Farmington and Escalon, and it's right on the doorstep of Sonora and Angels Camp, and it's now moving into San Andreas. And you can see the red shadings here indicating we have very heavy rain, torrential rain. The purple dots actually indicate some shear, so that rotation is possibly still there, but the severe thunderstorm thunderstorm warning does not extend your way, but nonetheless, you are underneath some really severe weather now.
Eileen, we have video actually out of Modesto of the lightning. If you want to play
Sure,
that,
let's
and
go ahead.
Eileen, you guys can talk over it here. But this just shows how intense it was here.
Yeah, look at that. Wow. Whew. Yeah, kind of just lighting up the sky. Actually, forgive me, Copperopolis and Sonora, we are under a severe thunderstorm warning till 4:45, but this is what's coming your way. That lightning, thunder, the possibility that we get some straight line winds that can do some damage. So far, the wind reports that I've been seeing are in that 40 to 50 mile an hour range, but there's the potential. We get something up in there at 60 to 70 when you get these brief downbursts out of a line like this. So yes, make sure you're just staying inside. It certainly has woken you up this morning as it passed through.
We have more also, Eileen, video here sent to us from a viewer out of Citrus Heights just now.
Yeah, so Sacramento County got slammed right at about 3:45 this morning in this region, 3:45, 4 o'clock, and it just came down in buckets, lots of lightning, some very gusty winds. Brian's been reporting on issues going over the YOLO bypass because a big rig was also kind of sideswiped by these winds as it came through, and we all know driving in here, if you met up with that line, it is nasty. You want to stay inside and let this line clear because we are seeing that torrential downpour. It'll last for 15, 20 minutes, won't last all that long, but when it comes through, again, it could contain some very gusty winds, damaging winds, and just best to stay inside in the most interior room that you can be.
Do these storms kind of tend to lose intensity as they head up into the colder Sierra, or does that affect it at all?
For the most part, yes. You would think that. However, this is a pretty intense line, so it's holding together rather well right now. What it's going to produce is unreal amounts of snow.
Yeah.
The snow rates, when this line really gets over, say, Donner Summit, it could snow 2 to 3 inches in a half hour.
Wow.
That kind of snow could come down. So yes, I mean, just trying to travel through the Sierra this morning, not advised at all, because this amount of energy moving up into the Sierra will cause a tremendous amount of snow in a short amount of time.
Yeah, and if we can go back here to TV1, you're noticing that this line continues again working its way eastbound. Severe thunderstorm warning for the areas in the yellow boxes, which extend again into much of our foothills communities. And then eventually this line will, as Eileen was mentioning, work its way into the Sierra, generating thunder snow, which thunder snow is basically a thunderstorm within snowfall, which could produce a lot of snowfall in a short period of time frame. So as Eileen was just mentioning, you could get 1 to 3 inches of snowfall within a 20 to 30 minute window when this line does work its way eventually into the Tahoe Basin. But for now, again, it's the lightning, the thunder, the hail that these storms are projected to produce. Impact as well could be some flash flooding on the roadways. You saw some of the video of where we did have these torrential downpours move through already, producing a lot of rain in a short window of time, which could produce that standing water on the roads and potential for folks that are heading out early on those darkened roadways. If you encounter water, please don't drive through it if you don't know just how much is there. It's always advised not to go through a big area of water. It's also impacting folks by producing some wind damage, roofs, siding, trees potentially snapping branches and potentially falling down as well because the ground is just so saturated from all the rain we've already had.
If you're just joining us now, a special weather coverage here. We actually went on the air early because there was a tornado warning. Tamara, that has since expired, correct?
That has
and where was
expired.
that located again?
That was located in 3 counties. We had it for portions of San Joaquin, portions of Stanislaus, and portions of Calaveras. Again, that did expire right at 4:15 on the nose. Now our biggest concern is these severe thunderstorms that continue racing up the foothills and eventually moving towards the Sierra. Again, you can see the tracker there and all of the lightning that these storms are producing, the heavy, strong winds, and the torrential rain these storms have producing. I'll put a line here, a tracker, if you will, on where some of these storms are headed within the next couple of minutes. So that gives you a good idea of when your community may be impacted. And again, they're moving so quickly that sometimes this tracker is not an exact estimate of when it may be there. But for areas like Arnold, 20 minutes roughly, Miwok Village, Bear Valley area could see these storms within the next a half hour to an hour, I'd say, and then Dardanelle is going to be impacted by some good thunderstorm, lightning, thunder, and also some hail and potentially some brief heavy rainfall. Eileen? you seeing anything with the winds? I know you're looking at the wind gusts.
Yeah,
so
right
far.
now I'm looking at the winds, and Brian is going to give us an update now. Placerville had a wind gust of 41. We did see stronger winds down in the valley at about 55 miles an hour, and that helped to push a big rig over. We're being told over the Yolo bypass.
Yeah, I'll have an update on that in just a second. I wanted to show you a moment ago. This is, again, a live picture from downtown Placerville, where if you saw 10 minutes ago, this flag was pinned sideways. Now, just barely off the flagpole there. The rain's still coming down, but I want to show you the aftermath. Go a little bit further up the road here in Placerville. They've got some very nice cameras there, and you can see the water that is just flowing down the roadway here at Bedford Avenue. A little bit earlier, this looked like a small creek with water draining down the hillside here from that intense rain. But in its wake, you can see now things are really starting to calm down here in Placerville, but the conditions certainly changing further up the hill. I'm monitoring the cameras up along Interstate 80 as that band moves up and the potential for that heavy snow rate. This is what it looks like right now at Dutch Flat, where we're seeing some pretty good rain. You can see it in the light there. So we'll keep an eye on these roadways and how this is going to impact your drive. If you're heading up into the mountains, definitely not advisable to try to pass through that band of showers. This is what it looks like at Del Paso Road out in the Natomas area along I-5. Things have calmed down a little bit. You can see some shake in the camera there. A little bit further up the road, though, that is where we have our biggest issue of the morning. The Yolo bypass southbound, just south of Woodland, is closed right now due to a big rig which was blown off the road. You can see the purple here indicating the closure as that blockage right around the Sacramento River, a big rig hanging off of the overpass there. And so they're working to stabilize that. Your workaround to get around this, if you're in Woodland right now or coming from north of Woodland, would be to get onto 113, take that south down into Davis. That'll connect you back up to Interstate 80, and then you can choose east or west on 80 for that. But right now, no estimated time of opening on that route. Back to you.
Ryan, thank you so much. We want to go and as we take a look here at a very active Doppler radar here. There is a severe thunderstorm warning. It's in effect until 4:45. Are we ready to take Mike DeSalle? He's up in Cisco Grove right now. Mike, you had quite a crazy drive up through the foothills and up into the Sierra, and the snow continues to come down, and it seems like you're about to get hit here with maybe even thunder snow.
Yeah, and Teo, as far as crazy drive, anytime you're driving in the Sierra when you got conditions like this, yeah, it could be an interesting drive up here in the Sierra. But as far as what you've been talking about with that line of thunderstorms, we're actually ahead of that. So right now, we're standing at Cisco Grove. I'm going to step out of the way and let my photographer, Brennan Atchison, just kind of pan around to show you the snowfall right now. It is interesting, what's happening down in the valley and in the foothills versus here. You were talking about, the thunder snow that could come through here. Interesting right now, this is really actually a quiet, gentle snow. It's heavy, but there's not a lot of wind. There's not a lot of tough driving conditions outside of what's happening on the roadway. So what we're really doing is kind of anticipating, waiting for that line of thunderstorms to make their way up here to the Sierra. So right now we're getting a good, healthy snow up here. It is worth noting, let me go down to the ground here, Brandon, that it is quite wet. It was rain right up until the 5,000-foot elevation level, and then it turned over, and you can see that slushy, icy kind of wet. I almost slipped just standing here a second ago before we went on air. But let me also pan over here, Brandon, to this car just to show you. We got here just about 10 minutes ago, and that's when the snow started to accumulate. You can see on the car here how quickly that snow is starting to accumulate. So we're getting good, healthy snow here at the 5,000-foot elevation level, but it will be interesting to see how conditions change as we do see that line of thunderstorms that I see on the radar coming towards us and how that evolves as we go through the morning. So for now, as you can see, we are getting a good healthy dose of snow, but no real rain, or I should say no real wind to go along with that rain-snow mix. Right around that 5,000-foot elevation level is where that changes. And it's going to be interesting to see what happens here because there are a fair number of big rigs out here this morning putting the chains on. But if we do get some wind in with this snow, that could create more treacherous conditions trying to get up over Donner Summit. So that's kind of a live look at the situation here at the 5,000-foot elevation level. And as we wait for that approaching line, it will be interesting to see how things evolve and the situation changes where we're standing. Teo?
Yeah, we will definitely check back in with you as that system, that line of severe thunderstorms approaches your location, Mike. We appreciate it.
All right, everyone. In case you were just joining us, we are continuing to follow severe weather across our area area right now. We want to head over to meteorologist Tamara Berg to talk more about what we're seeing out there right now and what we need to prepare for throughout the day. And Tam, I know this is something you guys have been watching already all morning. We have already expired one warning, but there's still one currently underway.
Yeah, again, if you're just joining us and maybe this just jarred you out of bed, it's because we've had some very nasty storms roll through the area. We have this line here as this radar view takes you back all the way 3 hours ago. It set up shop. It raced across the valley. So for folks that are joining us, let's say in Stockton, Sacramento, or Yuba City, you're pretty much out of the woods with this nastier line. It's now working its way and wreaking havoc across the foothills, but it did generate and put out a tornado warning just about an hour, or actually I should say, about an hour ago is where that warning was for portions of our area, especially into Modesto, portions of Stockton, and portions of Calaveras County were under that. Now that line has moved its way to the east, so we do not have any tornado warnings at this point, but there is a severe thunderstorm warning for several areas, especially at foothill communities. Right now, most of this really good lightning that's taking place is working its way down Highway 132, eventually impacting Coulterville. And get ready, Groveland and Sonora, you're likely seeing that light show currently and hearing that heavy torrential rain hitting your rooftop. This is also working its way down Highway 50 and Interstate 80 with quite a light show as well and dropping quite a bit of rain. It's also producing some really strong winds, which potentially could do some damage, especially pertaining to dropping more tree branches, even more trees. And also there is potential that the winds could even take some shingles off of your rooftop, things like that. But it is producing a lot of lightning and it's moving very, very rapidly. It's moving at about a 50-mile-per-hour pace, tracking off to the north and to the northeast, but it is impacting a lot of folks right now in the foothills. And I want to move over to my computer now to set a tracker and show you again that we're still under the severe thunderstorm warning, and that's going to hold until about 10 minutes from now. So about 10 minutes until this severe thunderstorm warning expires. Actually, looks like the Weather Service has gone ahead and expired the severe thunderstorm warning. They just don't see the severity of these storms as a threat anymore. So for folks that are waking up, though, these storms are still packing quite the punch. And again, as I put our storm tracker on this, it gives you a great idea of when this may be really at your doorstep. So right now it's moving across town of West Point, working down Highway 88. About 7 minutes from now, it's going to be hitting Gilbert's, and then about 20 minutes from now, Grimminger area will be getting in on this storm. Then we also have it working its way down Interstate 80, which eventually is going to work its way into the Tahoe Basin, which could produce potential for some thunder snow. Yeah, that's right. What is thunder snow? Well, that's going to be a heavy dumping of snowfall that could also have lightning within it, and it could produce snowfall rates of 1 to 3 inches in just about 20 to 30 minute time frame. So going back to the storm tracker here, especially for our friends that are in Grass Valley, up and through Nevada City, down that Highway 20 stretch, it looks like these storms at least are losing a bit more of their punch, but it's not to say that, again, we're not going to still see the impact with the wind, with the heavy torrential rain and the lightning and the small hail as well. Again, it's moving off towards Forest Hill here within the next couple of minutes. We've got Brian also monitoring what's going on the roads with all of this rain and the wind. Brian.
Yeah, Cameron, I've been monitoring the cameras along the foothills, and now it appears that band is moving up through the Dutch Flat area. I've been watching this camera here. Look, you can see the rain blowing sideways, and if you look real close, occasionally when those gusts come through, you'll really see the trees starting to whip around. So that definitely making its way up through the foothills, through the Colfax area now, up into Dutch Flat with that rain blowing sideways across Interstate 80. So just want to give you an update on that. Also continuing to monitor that big rig issue that we have in Yolo County, right on the Yolo bypass, just south of Woodland. There is a big rig that is hanging off of the bypass, and they have closed southbound I-5 just before the Sacramento River. For reference, here's the Sacramento International Airport. So this is going to be just north of that area, but it's the southbound lanes of I-5 that remain shut down with no estimated time of opening due to a big rig that was during that band passing through. Right at the same time that band passed through was when this crash was reported. A big rig going off the bypass with the trailer now hanging precariously over the edge, and they're working to secure that truck right now. So if you're in Woodland or coming anywhere north of Woodland, you're going to want to take 113 down into the Davis area, where from Davis you can access Interstate 80 and go either direction. No issues on the causeway coming out of Davis, but it's the Yolo bypass where we continue to have that closure. Back to you.
All right, Brian, thank you so much. And quickly, we just want to mention, too, Citrus Heights Police reached out to us and said that there is a tree down right now. So Auburn Boulevard is going to be closed for an unknown amount of time. So traffic is going to be diverted at Old Auburn. Southbound traffic will be diverted at Kenai, if you are familiar with this area.
Yeah, and so let's go back live now to Mike Tissell. He's in Cisco Grove. And Mike, we see that snow coming down right now. What else are you seeing there around you?
Yeah, I'm going to step out of the way because, here at Cisco Grove, just above that 5,000-foot elevation level, the scene this picture pretty much speaks for itself. As for the snowfall we're already seeing here right at the 5,000-foot elevation level, and that is right where it changes from that rain to snow. But aside from all the other concerns that you've been listing here as we're, covering this line of storm this morning, just saw a warning from the Avalanche Center about the significant avalanche danger going through today with this snow. So that is another concern and potentially a concern for roadways in the Sierra, depending on where you are. So again, right now, we're getting a healthy dose of snow. The good news is largely the traffic out here is just big rigs, and they are all, chaining up and moving slow through the chain area. So no issues on the roadways yet. But again, we are waiting for that line of thunderstorms to reach where we are. The thunder snow that Eileen and Tamara have been talking about this morning. Driving up here, we did see one flash of lightning ahead of us down around that right before Blue Canyon when we were still in the rain, and then it quickly turned to snow. But really, no wind, no heavy snow, and as yet, no thunder and lightning beyond that one lightning strike that we saw. So again, be real interesting to see what's going to happen once that line hits us, and that's what we're kind of counting down to. So I'll keep you posted and come back to us as soon as that happens, just to see how different the situation is. But for now, for all the rain that is associated with this up here, we are again getting some wet, heavy snow on top of all the snow that's already here. I mean, the snowbank right behind me pretty much speaks for how much snow they've gotten over the last several days. Live at Cisco Grove here along Interstate 80. Teo, Brandy, back to you.
All right, Mike, we will absolutely check back here pretty soon.
And let's head over now to meteorologist Tamara Berg. And Tamara, that warning is still in effect right now for another few minutes, right?
It is, yeah. We've got about 5 minutes left on this severe thunderstorm warning impacting the communities of Placer County, parts of El Dorado County, and parts of Amador County as well, kind of that central area there where this thunderstorm warning goes until, again, about roughly 4 minutes left on this. Still continuing to monitor these storms as they will continue working to the east. The good news is they are losing a lot of their energy or the intensity as they continue to file up towards the Sierra. But thunder snow can't be ruled out, and I'll have more on that for you coming up after the break, guys.
All right, Tamara, we appreciate it so much. Great coverage this morning, keeping people informed. Appreciate it.
And of course, if you have loved ones, friends, or family that may not have power, because remember, we are still on the heels, Teo, coming after other storms that we've seen, heavy rain. Of course, in a lot of places, people still without power, trees that have come down. So there's still cleanup underway after those storms. So if you know folks that may not have power right now, make sure you download the KCRA 3 app. You can stay up to date on all of what's going on right on your smartphone. You can also watch us on KCRA.com. We do stream all of our newscasts live in real time, so you can find out what's going on and share that with loved ones who may not have power right now, may not be able to watch us on television. And we're going to stick around here. Our producers let us know where we're going here. Right now, we're headed to break. Okay, we're headed to break. We're going to take a quick break and come right back.